Welcome, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the morning routine. Great to see you guys this morning, where we get together every weekday morning to share some news, some stories, passage of wisdom, and a prayer to get our day started the right way. This morning, I'm drinking a nice, piping hot cup of Pikes Peak Starbucks K-Cup Roast. Delicious. No joke. Absolutely top notch. I love this coffee and the breakfast blend. And that is not a paid sponsor. I absolutely just like that stuff. So, actually, I have no paid sponsor. So, do I technically even need to say that when I talk about things? I don't even think I do. But I might as well. So, there we go. It's Thursday. It is so windy and blustery outside right now that, it is windy, like blowing. It's crazy. You should see the waves out back on the pool and on the pond. Like, you could go surfing out there or something. It's intense. So hopefully this will pass with Memorial Day weekend right in front of us. I'd love to have a nice sunny weekend and get some work done and be able to hang out and stuff. So we'll see what happens. So I have so much stuff that I want to share with you guys that there's no way I'm going to be able to share it today and tomorrow. It's going to bleed into next week, which isn't a bad thing. But first, I have something exciting, okay? Actually, this right now is game-changing news. This is sponsored by a friend, Senior Jim. Senior Jim has introduced me to the newest and greatest candy available, the M&M Caramel. These things are so stinking good, man. He brought a couple bags of these for us to share last night, and they went really quick. Let me tell you, they are so good. They taste like miniature Rolos with a candy coating on them. And I got to tell you, they're stinking awesome. The only thing I don't agree with on this, okay, is right here in the corner, share size. I'm sorry, bud. This is not share size. This is gobble it down as fast as you can all by yourself and find chocolate all over your face and wonder what the heck just happened size. That's what this size is. But they can't write all that across the top of the bag, so they have to write share size because that's all the room they have. So these things are awesome, and if you can't find them, they are available on Amazon. To make it easy for you, if you go to the after the show on the freedomconvold.com morning show, there'll be a link to these on Amazon, so you can find them if you don't want to go to the store and find them. So, but they are really, really good. So, but let's go. There's so much. We're going to start jumping through some stuff real quick here this morning, and I'm going to share some stuff real fast with you because there's a bunch of it. So first, we're going to jump into, for you baseball guys. Hey, good morning, brother. How we doing, man? And I want to share this with you. If you guys are baseball fans, you guys are going to freak out over this. Good morning, Paul and Teresa and Tom. I was reading this yesterday. Now, I'm not a huge baseball watcher on TV, okay? It's just never been my thing until it gets to like the World Series where the games actually matter. When you play so many games and you can lose like 10 in a row and you're like, oh, did we lose? It's no big deal. Sorry, not my game. But this is awesome, and I might tune in for this. The first ever complete live game virtual reality sports experience is coming by Major League Baseball. Listen to this, guys. Interesting fact, almost a century ago, baseball was on radio, and that was a game changer. Then it came on television. Then it came on color television. Then it came on high definition television. The next thing right here, okay? Oh, then it was streaming live on the internet, right? You could available anywhere. Now it's coming to VR. Now, I've talked about VR with you guys before, right? You remember these? The Merge VR headsets that I absolutely love, where you can just get fully immersed in these. Or the fancy Chick-fil-A, the Chick-fil-A VR ones. You remember that? I talked about those. So now what will happen is this is coming out June 1st. It's available. Let me just read some things. Let's see. June 1st, Major League Baseball at Bat VR will make its public debut. It's the first complete live game sports experience in virtual reality, which means that not only can you watch real-time video, but you can immerse yourself in the experience. The main screen in front of you will show the live video, like traditional MLB.TV, and you could choose your feed you prefer to the sides so you can get play-by-play and box score. This is the part that I love. Are you ready, guys? Listen to this. They will make the strike zone three-dimensional, color-coded by hot zones of the current hitter, And in addition to showing where the pitch crosses the plate, it shows a heat trail of the actual path. But it's presented to you as in you're in the catcher's position and the pitch is coming right at you. So listen to this. VR, remember, VR is when you take your phone and you're playing it and you slide it in here, and no matter where you look, you can see in 360. Imagine sitting in the catcher's position looking 360. This is awesome. I gotta tell you, man, I might watch a game just to see that. So that's very cool. I made a video on how to use these. If this is something that interests you, in the show notes, freedomconvo.com morning show, I'll have a link to where to get these, but also I'll put a link of a YouTube video I made a while ago when I talked about them before on how to use these specific ones if you don't know how to use them. So just trying to make it easy for you guys, but very, very exciting stuff. So next piece of information. GE, as you know, makes airplane engines. This was fascinating. They're coming out with a new engine. The new turbofan engine, okay, is wider than the Boeing fuselage. So this engine that they're coming out with is bigger than an actual plane that they make, like the fuselage, the tube part that you sit inside. The crazy thing about this is it's so massive, but it's cleaner, quieter, and more fuel efficient than any other plane ever or engine ever made, even in its massive size. The part that's crazy is 2 of the parts are being made by 3D printers. Like, they've adopted that technology in commercial applications, not just, people in their basements. A fuel nozzle. The typical fuel nozzle has 20 parts. The GE9X is what they call this thing, is a single piece that's 3D printed out of cobalt chrome powder, proving to be 5 times more durable. Isn't that fascinating? And then airfoils that are inside of it. The engine generates 105,000 pounds of thrust, which would overwhelm normal airfoils. These are 3D printed titanium aluminide metal powder. Now, I don't know about the metal, but 3D printing is fascinating to me, and that they're doing it now in engines like that. So very cool. Can't wait to see one of those. And okay. Next thing, guys. This might be a life game changer. Let me start with that I have never used this. Okay, I have to tell you that I've never used it. I think I'm going to. It costs $10. But my friend Jim, M&M Carmel Jim, he found it where it's on sale for 30 days or something for like $7.99. This is a to-do list app called Things that is getting rave reviews when I'm looking online. If you like to have organization and a to-do list and a calendar all in one on your mobile devices, I would tell you that this might be the one that you're looking for based on what I've been seeing. I took a tutorial video. I'll have a link to that to the page so you can see how it works on the freedomconvo.com morning show link there for you so you can see exactly what we're talking about. This app called Things. Let me just read a little blurb for you, okay? There's an inbox for quickly adding whatever's on your mind, and spaces for today's tasks, upcoming tasks, and things you'll get to eventually, or maybe never. Once you start digging, though, power user features show up everywhere. You can add notes, checklists to items, turning planned vacation from one task into more manageable set of smaller tasks. You can connect your calendar to see your to-dos in context of your day, and the app integrates with both Siri and Apple Reminders. There's a super fast search tool if you can't find stuff in there. You can have one list or 1,000, attach deadlines to everything, or just pile it all in. This thing, though, you have to go see this video on how it looks and how it works. Just seems amazing on how smooth it is. There is one downside that we did find is that it doesn't integrate with a desktop situation. It's only mobile devices, which is a downside for some because they like to integrate everything. But I got to tell you, it looks great. So it would be worthwhile to go and check out the link that I'll put. Once this show is over, I'll post that stuff up on there and you can see, go and see how to do this thing. So one more story I want to share. And wow, man, see, I'm falling behind on time. I'm sorry, guys, but there's so much to share. This is a trend that I want to share with you to make you aware of what's going on. More baby boomers than ever now are in student loan debt. This is amazing, okay? It's not because they're in school. It's because they're taking on the debts for their grandkids. At the end of 2015, per the latest data, Americans aged 18 to 34 held a massive $601 billion. Billion. Ages 18 to 34, $601 billion debt for higher education. Here we go. The amount of student loan debt held by those ages 60 to 64 is $38 billion. In retirement, or right around there, 60 to 64, $38 billion. For ages 55 to 59, it's $65 billion. And these older debts are not exactly being paid off. 12.6 of debt held by 60 to 64-year-olds was in default at the end of 2015. This is a huge debt crisis going on with school loans, and we should be aware of it. I don't know what the solution is, but we should all just be aware of what's going on. Okay, this is amazing. So that was just an interesting fact that I wanted to share with you. That's all I had on that one, but I just want to share it with you. So let's go and see what's trending, guys. I feel like I'm talking a million miles an hour trying to squeeze in all this great stuff I'm finding for you guys. But let's go and see what's trending. The top 10 most searched things on Google as of yesterday were, number 1, Dirty Dancing 2017, the remake. Number 2, The Voice, the TV show, is ranking number 2. Number 3, Game of Thrones. Number 4, Greg, oh boy, these names get me. Greg Gianforte? Gianforte? I don't know, whatever. Fox News crews watched in disbelief as Montana's Greg Gianforte slammed. He must have been a news reporter. Number 5, Manchester United, the soccer team. Number 6, Top Gun. Number 2, it's coming out in a year. Number 7, Cavs versus Celtics basketball. Number 8, the DJI Spark. I'm going to have to cover a story on the DJI Spark. This thing is amazing. It's the newest drone that's coming out that, no exaggeration, is smaller than your iPhone 6. Smaller than your hand, the body of it. The thing is this big, total. It is amazing. With a built-in camera and everything. It's amazing. Number 9, Brad Culpepper. And number 10, the Big Sur. Big Sur. Nearly 100 fell on the Big Sur this winter. Oh, that's a mountain, I guess. The Big Sur. So that's your top 10 trending things on Google search this morning. Let's jump on over and see what our trending news is today on Thursday, May 25th. Here we go. First, Theresa May. Who is Theresa May? UK police stop sharing information on Manchester attack with US after leaks. Next, Greg Gianforte. That's the guy we just talked about. Greg Gianforte is the Republican candidate in Montana. That's what it was. Okay, who slams a reporter. Next, Congressional Budget Office. Healthcare bill impact on premiums, uninsured, and pre-existing conditions. Next, Ben Carson. HUD Secretary Ben Carson. Poverty is largely a state of mind. I've got things to say, but I'm not saying them. Next, Dangerous Women Tour. Ariana Grande suspends tour after Manchester Arena suicide attack. Next, Jakarta, Indonesia. Suicide bombings kill 3 officers at Jakarta bus station. It's crazy, man. New York Times. Photos show detonator shrapnel battery used by Manchester bomber in the New York Times. Next, David Sullivan. Homeless man gets new apartment after helping Manchester bombing victims. That's a story I like to hear. That's a story I'm glad is trending. Somebody who steps out and does something super kind for the people around them. What a great story. That's awesome. So that is our trending news for today on what's going around out there. It's 7:02 a.m. for those who are watching live. I hope you didn't miss the school bus. Let's jump on over now, guys, and let's get our passage of wisdom to get our day started off with something a little bit more timeless. Holy cow, it's a long one. All right. Let's see. All right. There's no way to really condense this one that I could see real quick because it is a story. And it looks, yep, and every bit of part of it is important. So here we go. We're going to be reading in John chapter 8, verses 1 through 11. It's a story. Stick with me as we go through the story because the ending is fantastic. Okay? Here we go. But Jesus went to the Mount of Olives, At dawn he appeared again in the temple courts, where all the people gathered around him and sat down to teach him. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman caught in adultery. They made her stand before the group and said to Jesus, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the act of adultery. In the law, Moses commanded us to stone such a woman. Now what do you say?" They were using this question as a trap in order to have a basis for accusing him. But Jesus bent down and started to write on the ground with his finger. When they kept on questioning him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. At this, those who heard began to go away one at a time, the older ones first, until only Jesus was left, with the woman still standing there. Jesus straightened up and asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" "No one, sir," she said. "Then neither do I condemn you," Jesus declared. "Go now and leave your life of sin." What a fantastic passage. Amazing passage. It's talking about something that we've all heard before, about not judging others until you're judgment free and nobody can judge you and you're sinless, which is impossible, right? And it's talking about when Jesus looks at her and says, "I don't condemn you," even though she sinned, right? She's an adulterer. But then he says, "Go now and leave your life of sin." I like that part, guys, because sometimes, me personally, I struggle. I don't know about you, about the whole idea of if you have somebody that you love and care about and they're caught in sin, extending grace versus holding them accountable. It's such a tough conversation, guys. It really is. And I know there's nuances and things like that, and that makes sense of it. And that's not for me to teach. That's for somebody who's a much better teacher, right? But you know what I mean, right? There's that tension that lives between those two things of holding them accountable or showing them grace. I love this here because he held her accountable but showed her grace. But then the accountable part was telling her to go now and leave your life of sin. He did not say, "It's okay, I don't condemn you, continue on doing what you're doing." That's not what he said, right? But he did say, "I don't condemn you, but leave your life of sin." What a fantastic way of showing grace, but yet holding somebody accountable to what's going on, as only Jesus can do, because he's the only sinless person. So, fantastic scripture. What does this mean for us, guys? I would tell you, why don't you pray on this today? Spend some time thinking about this and asking for guidance on you on how you should do this. You know, this applies in the workplace too, for non-believers as a wisdom principle, right? Don't come down on people for doing something that you can't do yourself. There you go. It's simple enough, you know, and showing grace to your coworkers and things like that. So, but all right, great passage. Let's pray, guys. It's 7:06 a.m. for you live viewers, and let's get this day started. Father, good morning. Father, this morning I want to thank you. I want to thank you for creative minds of people that you have made, and the minds and the brilliance that you have given them to be able to create things like M&M caramels and VR goggles and all these amazing and huge GE engines where they can print them out of printers. The creativity, Father, that you have created us with is amazing. And I just thank you for knowing that these would be important things in our lives, that we get to use those things and be creative. Father, you created all of us uniquely special with talents and reasons and a meaning for our life. Help us today discover those meanings so that we can live up to being meant for what you created us. Father, give us the strength today and be with us today as we think about the passage that you gave us of wisdom this morning, about showing grace and not being judgmental on people until we are sinless, which we all know that we'll never be. So be with us today as we think about this passage, see how it can apply to the people in our lives, the specific people in our lives that maybe up until now we've been passing great judgment on. Help us move past that, understand that deeper so that we can move past that, not just disregard it, but actually learn from it and absorb that into our lives. We thank you for your love and your grace. Amen. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Thursday morning, the morning routine. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, in about 10 minutes, I'll have all the links for everything we talked about today at freedomconvo.com. Click on the morning show link. They'll be right there, and you can find everything we talked about today and links to all of it, okay? Make it nice and easy for you. So, and that's it. So until tomorrow morning, when we get back here again, have a fantastic day. And don't forget to be exactly who you were meant to be. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.